Hey guys, welcome back to the Film Fan Club. Sam Carrico here, still talking about Orange is the New Black Season 5. Beware of spoilers for episodes 4 through 6. So right off the bat, at the beginning of episode 4, a lot of my questions from the previous 3 are starting to become answered. We figure out who took the gun from Daya. It was her friend, just trying to look out for her. It was her relative, aunt, friend. I'm not really sure her relationship. I forgot. I'm really bad with names. There's so many characters. But we learn that she was just kind of looking out for her. Some scuffle happens, and she loses the gun, and then it goes to the meth head ladies who are dressed up as patrolmen, COs. It's kind of interesting because I really thought that the gun was going to play a much bigger role in this season after she lost it at the end of episode 1, but it really just kind of goes from her to her friend, relative, to the meth head ladies, to Pensatucky, to the guard who then escapes. And then it's gone, and I'm not even halfway through the season yet. It's really interesting because, I mean, it really just kind of created a drama at the end of season 4, and they kind of backed themselves into a corner with it. And then they're really just trying to, it seems, the characters, but also the writers, are just trying to get themselves out of that hole. I mean, I thought that the riot was really going to be about Daya and and kind of having taken control with the gun and shot the guard and everything like that. But really, it becomes more about Pusey Washington, and it's really beautiful what happens there. After, I mean, we kind of get done with the nonsense, and Daya just tries to lay low and whatever. And then we really get down to the business of the heart of what this is all about. It's about really just trying to get better treatment. We saw their demands at the end of episode 3. They're starting to kind of get some demands met in episodes 4 through 6. They really, at first they're willing to accept them, but once they're like, all right, let's talk about some other stuff, they're like, no, we're not gonna, or yeah, they're like, let's get the hostages freed. And they're like, well, you think that just by giving us Cheetos, this makes up for all the unfair treatment in our prison system, not to mention our friend being dead? It's really awesome. I mean, and I was hesitant of the backstories in my last review. I was kind of thinking they should just get rid of them. My favorite one that they've done so far is in these 3 episodes. It's the Tasty backstory. I think we've already seen some backstory with Tasty, but it was really nice, that story with her mom, her birth mother, and how things don't always go the way you want them to. It's really unfortunate the way they that they turn out for her. And then we get to see her meeting Pusey, so we kind of understand how she's kind of adrift when it comes to having a family and wanting a family, and then whenever she's able to kind of have a little bit of a prison family and just have people that she can rely on who have her back more so, and how that was taken from her in the sense of Pusey dying unjustly. Especially, it's just really poignant. I think Tasty's storyline is my favorite throughout this season so far. The actress who plays her has just done a fantastic job. It's really outshined anything that Piper has ever been. It's really funny because this show has really started out as being, what is it like whenever, an awkward, pampered white girl gets put in prison, and then it's kind of shifted into, becoming a metaphor for, injustices with the prison culture, with black culture, with minorities in general, with lesbians, with feminism, or not with feminism, but the way that women are treated unjustly, and why why people need feminism. And it's really interesting what the show has morphed into. This season, again, I reiterate, has been my favorite, probably, or one of my favorites so far. I really did like the first couple seasons, but this has definitely been better than anything they've done in season 3 and 4. And it'll be really interesting. Every episode, I'm wondering, how is this all going to play out? There's more added to the fold. Judy King, she was being like, we saw her get dragged down and then beaten and tortured and whatnot. So that way, because that was hilarious the way that episode ended too, with them having her on the roof and taking the pictures, and the media. It's starting to become a media frenzy. It's just as outlandish as you would expect Orange is the New Black to be, and it's really funny because it's never lost its sense, or it's actually, I think it's regained its sense of humor, because in seasons 3 and 4 I think it just started to become really a drama, and now it's kind of got, I think a lot of the sense of humor especially has come back this season. Maybe that's why I like it so much as well. This season has been really fun. I can't wait to every time I finish 3 episodes at a time, I'm like, can't watch the next episode because I got to do a review. So I'm glad I get to talk about it too, because it's just really fun just to get to vent about it. And then my girlfriend Hannah, she doesn't watch Orange Is the New Black, so she doesn't like hearing about it all the time. It's a very good show though. I'm really interested to see where they're gonna go with it. All the different characters. I really like getting to see the intricacies too. I mean, we kind of get some payoff with the Frida stuff, having a backstory episode earlier, because it kind of makes it a little bit less completely unbelievable, which it is completely unbelievable that Frida has that big of a bunker underneath the entire prison that apparently nobody knows about. Doesn't make any sense. But then they're like, oh, but we told you that her dad was a crazy Cold War guy, so she would know how to create an outlandish bunker in a prison. And it's like, okay, whatever. That's really out there, even for Orange Is the New Black, and I think that was the cliffhanger at the end of episode 6, so it'll be interesting to see. I say that so much. I was watching some previous videos. I say it'll be interesting to see so much, so I'm sorry, but if you ever want to play a drinking game and you watch my videos, try that maybe. But I am looking forward to seeing how this turns out, and hopefully it just doesn't become more outlandish. I mean, it's an outlandish show, but I hope it doesn't become even more outlandish with the underground bunker and stuff like that, and the crazy Cold War backstory and stuff. And I hope that all the future backstories and future storylines become as poignant as what Tasties has become, because I really that's my favorite thing. I like that that's becoming the focus of this season. And I like that even Piper, her storyline is starting to coincide with that, because at the end of episode 6, she's like, you know what, I'm not going to sit by any longer. I'm going to help a greater cause, and that's the greater cause. It's really nice. It's kind of it's a great kind of progress on the character of Piper, for the character of Piper, to get her see kind of her now what she's helping out her fellow inmates, because she did kind of become cold and distant in previous seasons, you know, and then she wasn't a very good character to begin with. She was kind of, like I said, pampered and very distant, you know, mentally from the rest of the people. She kind of looked down on the rest of the inmates, and now she's kind of joining the cause. So it's very nice kind of progress for her character, I think. Overall, this season, again, very great so far. One of my favorite of seasons they've done in recent memory. I really like this a lot more than, more than House of Cards season 5. That was pretty much a letdown. This has really just been I feel like the show's youth has been renewed. I feel like the just everything. The humor is back. I really like the storyline, the character interactions. I mean, we're kind of getting back we're finally getting a little bit of progress too on Nikki and Morello. They're unfortunately, you know, their flings are kind of having to come to an end because they have another one. But then she's like, "Oh, I'm pregnant," and then I'm finally glad that she told Morello that, you know, what I've been wanting to say to her for a while. You just can't do whatever you want, okay? These have repercussions. You can't just, oh, I feel like having fun, so I'm just going to sleep with you even though I got someone out in prison. Oh, would you look at that? I'm pregnant. So, haha, isn't that funny? While we were cheating, I found out I'm pregnant by the other. It's like, you can't do that. So I'm finally glad she finally said something, and it was a long time coming, but, I mean, I feel like they're so on and off, that's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's probably going to end with them being together, I imagine. But it's finally, at least it got said, you know what I mean? Overall, now I'm going to go back to wrapping it up. This has been a great season so far. I'm looking forward to seeing where episode 7 takes us of season 5, and I'll leave you there. Thanks a lot, guys. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel for more stuff like this. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well, @Samuel D. Carrico. Thanks again for checking out this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.